shirt or a button helps. So I want to leave you with, are you feeling really pressured? Okay, so I'll have more to say in a little while, but I want to introduce you to our first speaker, who I'm really excited about. I'm excited about all these speakers, but this guy I met like 18 years ago in San Francisco when I had a talk show on the internet, when there was barely an internet, and I had the opportunity to interview him then. At the time, he was the founder of a site called HowStuffWorks.com. And when I moved to Raleigh just 6 years ago, I remembered that he's right here in the Triangle. He's based in Cary, and to quote him, he's a professor of blah, 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 blah at NC. That's an exact quote. I don't know if I got the right number of blahs right, but so we have speakers today. We have we're representing UNC, Duke, and NC State. We've tried to be inclusive. We couldn't get every school. But let me introduce you. He's an engineer and a writer, and like I said, from NC State. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Marshal Brain.
Greetings, fellow human beings. I'm going to set a timer because I'm told I will be shot if I go over 5 minutes, and I want to stay on schedule. And I am your warm-up act. The people who follow me are the real speakers, the people who are going to bring the message. So I'm going to start with a question. How many of us have experienced diarrhea? All right? Every single one of us can raise our hands, right? We've all experienced it. It's part of the human condition, part of the human experience. It's, we could go to any country, talk to almost anyone, and they've all experienced gravity, and they've all had diarrhea. It's just part of the human thing that we all share. So how many of us have experienced Imodium? If you have heard of Imodium, it is this medicine. It comes in a little pill. You take Imodium and it eliminates diarrhea. It's like a miracle. You take the pill, you feel gross and disgusting, and miserable and awful, and you pop this pill, and a half hour later, it's gone. Now, how is that possible? Like, how did scientists do that? How do they make something that works so well and it's super cheap? It's like on the UN list of essential medicines for the planet. It works so well. How is it possible? So the first spark might have been a scientist. Maybe he's sitting on the toilet. Where is Johnny? There was Johnny, the walking toilet, who was just walking by a minute ago. He left. Okay, so the scientist is thinking, we have got to stop diarrhea, right? That's the first spark. Now, the second spark might be, well, who doesn't experience diarrhea? Is there any population on the planet who is free of this scourge? And they might come to the conclusion that there is a group. Heroin addicts, right? Heroin addicts. I won't ask how many of us have been addicted to heroin. That's a little too personal. But, I mean, statistically, maybe a tenth of us are. It's hard to tell now. There's an opioid epidemic, right? But they don't get diarrhea. They get the opposite. If you're addicted to heroin, you are constipated so bad you can't believe it. That population does not get diarrhea. So why? And so this is the next spark for a scientist, right? Why don't heroin addicts get diarrhea? And it's because the opioid molecule that heroin contains, and all the opioids we know of, and fentanyl and all of them, that has two effects. One effect is on the brain. It makes you feel good. It relieves pain. That's one effect of opioid molecules. But the other effect is on the large intestine. It shuts down or slows down the large intestine, and that stops things up and it causes more water to get extracted, and boom, you're constipated because of the two effects of an opioid molecule. So then the next spark might be, well, what if I could create an opioid molecule that affects the large intestine but does not affect the brain? It's an opioid molecule that's targeted at the, hey, let's get constipated part of the equation. And that's what Imodium is. It's an opioid molecule that does not affect your brain, but it does make you the opposite of diarrhea. And that is the whole idea behind Imodium. And it works fantastically well. We can talk for hours about it, but we won't. So, this is the power of science. There are thousands of drugs that scientists have created. These buildings, the cars we drove in, the cell phones we use, the internet, on and on and on. Scientists have created the modern world for us. And they've done it in that same way, little sparks that chain together and create amazing modern things. So I thank you for letting me be here today, and thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Marshal Brain. When I've been asked what we hope to achieve here today, I forgot to mention learning more about heroin. So that was a bonus.